Welcome to the show. I know you guys missed me yesterday. I missed myself. Hear my voice is still weird. I got something got a hold of me, and my stomach has been rocking for the last few days. But I mean, I guess I'm on the uptick now, so I decided that I felt well enough that I could sit here and do this at least for a while. We'll see how I go. But I want to thank everybody for showing up, even though it's an off-schedule show. Today we have 24 questions for the column. For those of you who want to submit a question, Shay will look in the chat here on YouTube. Shay puts the instructions for how to do it in the chat stream. You can also go to the website right there on the bottom corner of the screen, debsterism.com. Just log on there and you'll see the link that says get advice or advice form or something, submit advice, something like that. But anyway, that's where you would fill out the form with your question and press send. So this is with my lovely cousin, Candace. I have to call her that because I've been commanded to. My lovely cousin, Candace, puts the column together. And this is what I read. And then I just give you an answer off the cuff. Those of you who wrote in, please listen to my answer. And then also look at the chat, because they'll give you some insight that I may not have or something I didn't think about, or they live in the area of the country where you wrote from, and they might have some more information to add or some tips or resources or something like that. So it's kind of a joint project. So look both places for your full and complete response, okay? Good to see everybody. Let's get rolling here. Question number 1 of 24. As the male from the 28 to 34 age group, he's Caucasian from the UK. Summary of issue: my ex is confusing me with how we broke up and how we are now. About six weeks ago, my ex threw me out. It was a shock, but the relationship was having difficulties. We had 4 weeks of silence between us, and any contact we did have was angry and argumentative. She also stopped me from having any contact with my son during this time. Then about 2 weeks ago, we started talking, deep and long messages about how I hurt her and how she was hurting me back. We spoke for hours that one night. The next day, I was able to see my son. From then, we have spoken a lot more and actually seen each other a few times. This last week, things changed. She finds a lot of reasons to message me, and we talk most of the day. She keeps saying there is no us, and she doesn't want a relationship with me. She tells me that she doesn't love me, but she also doesn't hate me. It's worth noting that I'm not asking her to start again, but I have told her I'm still in love with her. The last 48 hours, we have been discussing sleeping with each other. Oh, have you now? She comes up with a lot of excuses as to why we shouldn't, but never actually says no, we won't do it. In fact, she has said multiple times that she wants to too. It would be comfortable, but because I have feelings, it's best that we don't. Tonight, she invited me to stay for tea with my son. He had already eaten hours before I got there, but she cooked for me and she had tea with me at the table and made polite conversation. She also dropping into the conversation that she's going out and hopefully she could meet a sugar daddy or a boy toy. She knew how this would make me feel, but I sort of brushed it off. She then said, well, you might meet someone is going to happen sooner or later. I cannot say she's hot and cold. I'm really not sure what I should be thinking
or doing right now. I always let her message me first. And although she isn't giving me hope, her actions are not clearly matching her words. I would love to hear what you ladies think is going on. You mean besides the fact that she's stupid and that she just effing with you because you let her? I mean, dude, this is up to you. I mean, first of all, I don't know what the court situation is in UK, so somebody maybe alert me. But here in the US, she don't have to let you see your son. You go to court and you get a visitation order. That's what you do. And then, of course, you're going to have to pay child support. That's part of the deal, right? So, thinking that you got to jump through hoops and bend over backwards with her wacky ass just so you can see your kid is a misnomer. Okay. Secondly, you you say you still love her. So what'd you tell her that for? Why did you tell her that? A woman comes to let me just break this down for you. Okay. A woman tells you that you hurt her. Your appropriate response is, I'm sorry. You know what you did, right? You apologize for it. You talk it over or something, but you don't end that conversation by telling her, well, I love you. What's that supposed to do? That's all about you. That's not about her. It's not about her feelings or her hurt. So then she's going to try to play these little childish games. Well, I'm going out with somebody. Well, you're supposed to tell her that's what you should do since you're single now. That's what you're supposed to do. So you take that wind out of her sails. She's thinking she's hurting you. You're not supposed to play that game with her. Y'all don't do this right. If she threw you out, then that means she's done, right? So you jumping around and trying to please her and go through all these changes and taking all her calls and stuff, you have the right to put up boundaries and say, since we're broken up now, all this contact you having with me and all this conversation is like, it's too messed up. It's like, you on both sides of the fence. I'm going to put you on the other side of it, just like you put me out, and you're going to stay over there. So the only conversation we need to have is something about our child. Okay, so don't be calling me just in chit chat and all through the day and stuff like that. Reserve that for your man, because that ain't me. You need to come hard with her. These dudes just be so like weak or something. You're not married, right? Because this is your baby. You didn't say wife in this whole letter. So there's no divorce to get. You all single. She a baby mama, and she tossed your ass out. So it's over. Okay, just move on. And stop letting her have all this interference and all this power and control in your life and over your feelings. She threw you out. That means she don't want you no more. Stay focused on that and get yourself together and move on. Okay. You got to put up some very strict boundaries with her and stop letting her have so much influence in your life. That to me is the main mistake that you're making. She gonna get a boy to her, sugar daddy. You supposed to tell her, bitch, your ass ain't that cute. You ain't gonna be getting shit like that. You're going to have a regular Joe with a 9 to 5 working a job just like me and just like you. That's what you're going to get. Any woman with a kid and stuff like, you ain't getting no boy toy and sugar daddy. That ain't going to happen, chick. That ship has sailed. You're supposed to say rude stuff like that to her ass. I would break her off a piece and make her be sitting there looking all confused with her feelings hurt. Don't talk to me crazy. Thinking you're going to be hurting me with your words. I'm going to show you how it's done, son. She tripping. Question number 2. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Summary issue. Is a drink in your face considered abuse? What? What? In what world is it not? Okay, we've been together for 2 years and I'm going through the process of selling my home that I've owned for 10 years. In all honesty, I can't afford to keep it because the mortgage has tripled the last 12 months. Oh, you must have got one of them balloon mortgages. You should have refinanced a long time ago. I'm literally putting the last 10 years of my life in a skip. It's difficult. I came home tonight, day 2 of, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's some kind of typo. And he has eye pain. It's all about his eye pain. I said I wasn't going there as I have enough to deal with this week, put my life in a skip. I don't know what that means. And he threw his full cold drink on me. I just sat there and didn't say a word. I'm sorry for the typos. I'm dyslexic and rely on my phone to type the words for me. I don't know what to do now. Adjustable rate or something. something that you should not have if you got to leave your house after 10 years. That's right, because interest rates have gone up, haven't they? What would I have done? I probably would have picked up the nearest blunt object and bust them upside the head, because I just have that violent streak in me. I can't imagine how I would feel other than absolute rage that he would think that shit was okay. But you selling your house and he's in your house, well, then that means he's going to have to get out too. But I tell you what, you make sure that wherever you go, he ain't going with you. He just crossed the boundary there. You don't throw nothing at anybody. Nothing. You know, in the Korean dramas, they always do, and they throwing water in people's faces and stuff. And the women just take it. And they call it a water slap. So instead of them slapping you, they throw this water all in your face and stuff. Girl, we would be fighting like 9,000. I mean, rolling around on the floor and everything. You're not going to treat me like that. But, it's a movie, of course. It's pretend. And they just sit there and they just be like, or start crying or something. Like, you need to commit to beating that bitch's ass. That's what you need to do. Yeah, I would imagine they're considered predatory, but she's in Baton Rouge, so they got away with it. They was doing that stuff here in California. I forgot the name of the company. They had to go out of business because the state like jammed them up, and they had lawsuits up to yin yang. It was in the 2010s that I remember that happened. Ooh, it's hot in here. It's maybe just me. I might still have a little fever or something. Okay, question number 3. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from London. Summary of issue. My partner wants me to pay towards his rent. Okay, so me and my boyfriend live apart. I'm over his house Thursday evening, Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. This was his choice. He asked me to spend more time over his with him, which I agreed to because he was starting an argument about not seeing me. But now he's telling me I should pay money towards his rent/council tax, etc., because I'm over his more than I am mine. I do also have my own rent and bills to pay. I pay for all the food while I'm there as it is. I do all the cooking and cleaning when I'm there too. He earns $40,000 a year, not sure if that's before or after tax, and I don't even earn the tax threshold a year. I've offered to help each month with about 30 pounds. I know it's not, wait, is that pounds the L sign? Is that pounds? Well, whatever it is, it's 30 of them. I know it's not a lot, but it's something. It also costs me 30 to 40 in fuel each week. Some is obviously on work too, but work is 5 or 10 minutes away, whereas he is 20 minutes. I pay for road tax, car insurance, etc., where he has a company vehicle and doesn't pay anything at all. Is what he asking me for fair or not? No. And if you pay it, you're a fool. What I suggest you do is stop going over there. If he wants to see you, make him come to your house. See, I don't understand you women that want to be like booty on demand. He says, well, come over and bring it to me, and then you just do it. No. You want me at your house, you're going to come and get me, and you're going to bring me back. Or, like, I had one guy who would do that. He lived in Palo Alto. I lived in San Francisco at the time. And he would want me to come to his house every weekend. When I got there, he had to fill up my tank, and he would take my car and get it detailed every week. When my car needed some brakes, he put the brakes on there. When my car needed some tires, he put the tires on there. When my car needed oil change, he had the oil change. You know why he did that? Because he wanted me to drive from San Francisco to Palo Alto every week and then back. That's what he did. Because he knew I wouldn't have came otherwise. I'll be like, psh, kick rocks. I'm not driving down there. But, I was like, I get a whole tank of gas and new tires and stuff. So, he was trying to take care of the situation. He didn't want to drive his car there and back and then there and back. So, it was probably less expensive for him to do it that way. But it showed that he was contributing towards what he knew was, me going out of my way to meet his request. Your boyfriend is trying to make you pay for delivering him booty on every weekend. And your dumb ass up here considering it. Are you stupid? You tell him, hell no. Don't make me start charging you for this trim and cooking and cleaning and stuff I'm doing, because you're going to be owing me. But the best thing for you to do really is put him on ice and say, well, with you coming at me like that, let's break up. Let's break up, because I can see that you don't have the proper attitude. You have a sense of entitlement. You think that I'm just supposed to jump around and jump through hoops for you. That ain't happening, Captain. And so from here on out, if you want to see me, you got to come to my house. Other than that, I'm never coming back to your house ever. That's not going to happen because you got a fucked up attitude and you can keep that at your house. Man. Yeah, the dude I'm talking about, I didn't do any cooking or cleaning or anything like that. He cooked. I mean, it was his house. He cooked, he cleaned, and when we went out, took me out and he paid. And it was no, this situation that he's trying to get set up, he's like a little pimp. And she up there, is that fair? You should have cussed him out the second his words came out of his mouth. Raggedy, dusty fool in London. 50 pounds equals, okay. All right. Yeah, I just want to make sure that was a pound because, wait, E is the euros, right? Pounds. The Y with the little thing, that's yen. It's just people write these letters and I have to try to remember what they're talking about. They don't make them like that no more. They make them like that if you guys demand it. If you say they come up with some wild, wacky stuff and then you say no. And these days, you don't even have to wait till you get there for them to fill up the tank. You can say, you need to cash out me the money. I'll fill up my tank and then I'll be there. So, you guys have to be strategic. You don't let some man run you like that. You have to think about what it is he's asking you. He's asking you to come to his house because it's convenient for him. And that's fine, but you shouldn't be losing because of it. This girl doesn't make any money. She's like going into a hole to meet this guy's demand. That's what I'm saying. She's losing here. You should not, you don't have to be a come up, but you shouldn't lose. And so too many women, though, don't think like that. They feel like, oh, well, it's love. Oh, this and that and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Does not compute. I don't understand that. I'm not going to be suffering and be out of anything because you want me to do some extra work. You're going to pay for that some kind of way. You're going to come out of pocket for it. And you're going to absorb the cost. And it's not going to be anything where I'm sorry because of me meeting your desires. Because it's not a need, because he could get in his car and come to her. He don't want to. He complained about it. So she's trying to meet his request. And now he wants some money. He would never see me. But yeah, that's what I'm saying though, honey, Lamore, they might not make them like that, but that's your job to make them be like that. You just tell them no. And you tell them why it's no. And tell them what they can do to make it be a yes. And if they don't want to do it to make it be a yes, well, then you just leave them alone and move on to the next one. It's not hard. It's 50 bazillion men out there. All ages, all races, all income levels, it's just too many of them. Most of them are stupid, though, I have to admit. But still, there's still, zillions of them. So you don't have to be stuck on that one. That's what I'm saying. Because, they all going to be dumb. So to me, like I always tell you guys, like my grandmother told us when we were teenage girls, she said, mine is named Mose. That was my grandfather's name. My name was Mose, and yours name is Fred, and hers is Sam. And she did, just made up some names like that. And she's basically what she was telling us is that all men are stupid and they're all pretty much the same. What you have to do is if you get a guy who's got the good raw materials that you can work with, then you kind of have to, like Mars Blackman says, mold him. You got to mold him. And you do that by setting up boundaries, by telling him no, and by making demands. And if you guys just always give in to everything that they ask you for, and you never challenge him, you never say no, everything he wants, you give it to him like a little wuss, then you're teaching him that you don't have any kind of bound. You don't have nothing. You don't have any desires. He does no need to be a better man for you. You just accept the bullshit from him. Psh. Please. I wish I would. That just would not matter. I just don't get it. Question number 4. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Concord, California. Summary of issue. My longtime boyfriend says he will never marry me because, quote, women are shameless, end quote. And you still with them. See what I mean? Just let these men talk to you any old kind of way. My longtime boyfriend says he will never. Oh, I'm sorry. My boyfriend is 33 and I'm 31, and we've been together for 8 years. When we first began our relationship, he never mentioned that marriage was off the table. I specifically remember having conversations with him about marriage once our relationship became serious. He always said that he was open to getting married as long as it wasn't rushed. That was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. In the last year or two, his entire view on marriage has changed. He now says that he has no interest in getting married because, quote, women initiate 80% of divorces, end quote, and that nobody wants to work through the slightest marital problems and would rather just get a quick divorce. At the end of his little rant, he also said, nowadays women are shameless. I'm so hurt by this, and marriage was always something that I wanted in my life. My family keeps asking me when we're going to get married since we have been together for almost a decade, but now I have to accept the fact that marriage is never going to happen, and it makes me very sad. Oh, it can happen. It's just not going to happen with him. You not thinking of this right. Girl, this is a catch and release situation. You need to release him back to the wild. Another strange thing I have now noticed, I realize, is how my boyfriend always talks bad about kids being born out of wedlock. And I have told him that I really want kids when he said, which will happen eventually. But does that mean he's going to have out of wedlock kids with me? No, it means he's going to dip out on you. He's going to find a woman he wants to marry, and then he's going to have kids with her. That's what that means. You're not, what are you hearing that is not being said? Okay. Also, I'm starting to get anxious about my time clock for having kids. It's starting to run out. You're 31. Are you kidding me? So I can't afford him to keep procrastinating and pushing these major life events aside. He's my life partner. No, he's not. And I still love him more than anyone in my life. You need to love yourself. I'm just so devastated that I won't be able to marry the man who I have been deeply in love with for the past 8 years. Are there any possible solutions to this problem as I see it? Well, like I said, your dream of being somebody's wife, you can have that. You're just not going to have it with him. You just have to accept that and stop wasting your time with this dude. It's been 8 years. Dip out now so it's not 9. Okay? First of all, what in the world were you thinking that would make you date somebody for 8 years? Were you smoking something? Alcoholic. What was happening here that you was in some kind of state where you were not thinking clearly for all these years? You don't date a man and you in your late 20s looking for a husband for no 8 years. You give him a year. And if he ain't talking about something and pulling out a ring and stuff and proposing and scheduling wedding dates and stuff like that, then you dip out on him. You don't need to stay there for 2, 4, 5, 10, 12 years. So he figures out if he wants to marry you, F him. Go somewhere else. Get what you want somewhere else. You don't let one monkey stop a show. Okay, you get on and get what you want out of life. It's your responsibility to make your dreams come true, not his. You cannot pressure a man, beg, whine, or wheedle a man into marrying you. Even if he does do it, his heart won't be there. So why would you want to have a husband who's only tolerating you? I like some of these things I've been reading online where the men admit that they're not even in love with the woman. They just married her for whatever obligation or some religious, use some kind of sense of obligation. Like that's what they're supposed to do or something. Who wants a marriage like that? Marriage is hard enough as it is when you're madly in love with each other. Some days you're just going to look up, you might love him. I mean, you love him. You you don't want to be with anybody else. But there's going to be days when you wake up and you look at him and you're going to be like, I would just wish I could push you off a bridge and just watch you fall. That's how much I hate you right now. And the feeling will pass. But you have all kinds of thoughts of mayhem when he's pissing you off and just getting on your last nerve. But that's what marriage is. And then you get over it. A lot of times those fantasies of, mayhem and stuff actually relieve the stress and you end up laughing about it. It makes you feel better. But, to go into a marriage where a man flatly told you to your face that he doesn't want to be married, he doesn't, whether he wants to or not, he don't want to be married to you. So then you have to be a smart woman and understand what he's telling you. I do want to have kids, but it's not going to be with you because you don't want kids out of wedlock and neither do I. And so since I'm not going to marry you, that means I'm not going to have kids with you. See, you're not connecting the dots here for some reason. And you're thinking that, there's this situation with him is something that's fixable. The man don't want you like that. Okay. Just accept the hurt and move on. If you guys living together, move out, get your own place, change your number, leave him in the dust. Let him think about, I mean, he hasn't even had an opportunity in almost a decade to miss you because you've been right there. Let him see what life is without you. Sometimes that works. And they realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe I do want to be married. That happened to my oldest brother. She left his behind and he was like, oh, whoa, wait. Because he was Mr. Player. And after that, he was like, oh, let me rethink this. And the next thing he had me going with him to do ring shopping. I was surprised. They got a divorce though, but he didn't really want to marry her. But you know, sometimes that does work. I don't know. Question number 5. This is a young lady, 22 to 27 age group from Taos, New Mexico. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is absolutely gross. Ooh, and yet you still with him. Okay, let's see what you have to say about it. Yeah, I saw that lady. She was in Houston. She had a wedding dress and everything. She put on a big old wedding and she married herself. I was like, go on, sister. I didn't know what to say about that. That's a little much for me. So anyway, she says, Deb, my boyfriend is honestly so gross sometimes. He has a perpetually stuffy nose, and I have found his boogers. Oh my God. His boogers on walls, in the shower. Oh my God. On hand towels, etc. Whenever I hear him blow his nose, I get triggered. And yet you still with him though. I would deuce out on Booger Boy. That would not work for me. This morning we were in bed sleeping and I hear him blow his nose like 6 times, loud as hell. I turned around on the last one because it was annoying and there's something visible that he's blowing his nose into. So I asked him where the fuck he's blowing his nose and he says his hand. Oh God. And you sleep with this? Disgusting vermin, bacteria laden, disgusting. Okay. He has been blowing his nose and wiping his boogers on God knows only where. On the blanket we both sleep with, the sheets. I am sick and disgusted thinking about it. He's 33 and I'm 26. He's too old for you anyway. We've been together a bit over a year, probably approaching a year and a half. However, we just moved in together 3 weeks ago. Oh, hell to the no. I'd be moving right back out. I knew he was gross, but I just can't do this. It makes me so repulsed. I can hardly fathom having intimacy, etc., especially since there are probably boogers on the bed, on the fucking bed. Every time I bring this up, he gets defensive. This letter is hilarious. He gets defensive and says he can't help his nose is stuffy, etc. Part of this is I'm just venting. But what would you ladies do if this were your partner? Shh, girl, please. Okay, you knew he was gross. Why did you move in with him? Did you think that he was going to stop being gross because you moved in? That's that fantasy thinking. Like women think, well, you know, it'll be different after we get married. No, it's not. If anything, it's going to get worse because he got you now. So whatever he was doing before that got on your nerves, he's going to amp it up by 10. No, did not this one butter my toast. We don't do the same questions, but we have, I don't know. There's been guys who don't shower. I remember one where a guy would pick up his clothes and spray them with Febreze. That was last year or so, but I'll never forget that one because he would just spray his clothes with Febreze. Spray himself with Febreze. I'll never forget that one. I had one in my book, Sucker Free Love, which was, I don't know, when did I write that book? 2007. And the girl said that the guy would take a shower, but he never used soap. So he would get in the shower funky and he'd get out funky, but all he would do is be wet. So stuff like that. You know, these dudes are just nasty. And the girls still mess with them. No, y'all need to have better standards. This is just ridiculous. But he needs to see an allergist. That's what he needs to do because there's something he's eating or something that's environmental that's making his nose all congested. You remember the Febreze guy? Girl, I'll never forget that shit because I was like, what? And she just talking about it like it was this regular. And she still messing with him. I was like, girl, you need to just deuce out on dude. I don't understand what's going on. How much Febreze can you use that would get rid of like weak old funk? Oh, just unbelievable. And then they be sleeping with them. That's the part. You know, that nasty skin that's got this dirty and he might have fleas or mange or something. And then he want to be rubbing his skin up against mine. No, no, no. I can't do it. So yeah, it's just a lot of gross dudes. That's what it is. And so every so often we get a letter. But this one is new. I don't recall ever having a booger one before. Oh my God, this poor girl. Okay, so did you guys tell her what you would do if this was, she asked that at the end, what would you do if this was your partner? He wouldn't be mine for long, because as soon as I saw that, because they do, like, you see the old men on the street, right? And they don't have a tissue and they do their finger like this, and then this big loogie shoots out of their nose and it lands like on a street post or on the street or something. Oh my God. As a little kid, I used to watch that. Of course, the little kids were fascinated with, bodily fluids. So, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, wow, that's so cool. But I was, 5. I mean, what do I know? But, as an adult, I know as soon as I said mange, I said, wait, that's what dogs get. But still, I just, but then, they be like, stuff be flying out. And they just be doing, just think that's regular. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. I've had enough of Mr. Snotty Nose. Question number 6. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Lawrence, Kansas. Summary of issue. I haven't been on a date in years. Next week, I have a morning date. We've been texting, and this guy seems nice and down to earth, but I'm so nervous. I'm afraid I'll be boring or not attractive. This man is about 6 years older than me. He has a little girl. His wife died years ago of COVID. So that wasn't that long ago. He's raising a kid alone. I have never been married or a mother. I feel scared this guy's going to look at me like an immature, inexperienced younger woman. This guy had a full life with his wife. He had a wedding, bought a home, had a child with her. All stuff I'd love to do. I'm seeking love and to build a life with someone. I just feel like when I show up, my brain is going to turn into jelly, empty and anxious. I won't ask him any good questions or be interesting. I don't know why I get in my head like this. I feel so scared and nervous about me. I forget about them. I get so nervous about them liking me. I sit there quietly smiling and acting perfect. And I feel I can't effectively judge if they are right for me. I just see every guy as cool, interesting, and that I'm not. Any advice? Slap yourself, because you acting real stupid right about now. First of all, you haven't even met the fool. So you're going to meet the fool. What if he's ugly? I mean, he can have like crossed eyes or something. I mean, it could be something dreadfully wrong with him. And you sit up there worrying and condemning yourself and worrying about him liking you and stuff. He might be stupid. He might be ugly. He might be short and fat. I mean, you don't know what you're going to be looking at or dealing with. Of course, on the other hand, he could be a really lovely guy, but you don't know that. So you prejudging yourself and condemning yourself and telling yourself all these negative messages. So this is the stuff that you're putting in your head. Failure, loss, lack of acceptance, rejection, not good enough. You're doing this to yourself. Nobody's having this conversation with you but you. Do you realize that? You talk to yourself so bad, nobody else needs to do it because you got it covered. Why are you worrying about what a complete stranger thinks? Who gives a fuck? I mean, you meeting a dude. I mean, he got a kid and stuff. So what? I mean, you might like him and then you meet his kid and his kid is like the demon spawn from hell. And you're like, oh no, I don't want no parts of this. There's so many ways this could go that don't have anything to do with you and have to do with him. Obviously, he knows how old you are and he knows you haven't been married and all this old stuff here, but he still asked you out. So then what's the problem? Why are you using that as a standard in which to condemn yourself? He already knows all that. Obviously, he don't care. Otherwise, he wouldn't ask you out, right? Girl, you just doing the absolute most. Yeah, he's already dating. Do you know COVID's been 3 years of that shit? So if she and the people that died usually did it at the beginning. So that means she's been dead at least 2 years. That's long enough to start dating. That's long enough. and they're young, so they couldn't have been married that long anyway. The little kid is just now 4. So that means when she died, the little kid was like 1 or 2, right? So, I mean, what's the problem? I think it's good for him to be out dating. Let's move on to question number 7, because girl, you just doing too much. You need to stop talking to yourself like that and instead put messages of positivity into your head. Whew. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group, African American from Houston, Texas. Summary of issue. My boyfriend forbids me to wear strap tops. Oh, I forgot. Candace put a survey up on the YouTube page. So if you get a chance, go over there and take it, because it's about this question. I just realized about this question because she asked something about your man telling you how to dress or something like that. But it must be about this question because it's my boyfriend forbids me. Do somebody daddy now? Interesting. Yeah, it's over on it. I need to pull that page up because I want to be able to see the survey results. So give me a second here while I go. Let's see, where is it? Oh, live. Okay. Here it is. God, I got to click 500 things to get back to the page. Okay, let me see. Are people voting on this? Not on YouTube. This is the page where it is, and you can go on over there and vote in the survey. Okay. So let me see here. Is him prepared to wear strap tops? So I'm looking, I've been dating for 2 months. He coming in trying to regulate. He cares about me and is honestly kind, respectful, sweet, funny, and my biggest supporter. In 2 months, he's the best boyfriend I've ever had. Hmm. However, he has a problem with how I dress. This is the only issue we've had so far. I don't even dress inappropriately, in my opinion. I never wear short pants or a skirt, even though it gets really hot in summer in Houston. Yesterday, it was a particularly warm, sunny day, and my boyfriend and I met up for some coffee. I was wearing long linen pants and a black strap top. My belly and back were covered, but it was showing a lot of cleavage. I think she means like a tube top, right? Strap top, tube top. Probably that. That's what I'm thinking. I have relatively large chest, so I can get my low-cut top could be seen as problematic. We went to the mall first, and we got into the elevator with 2 other men. All of a sudden, he was standing really close in front of me, looking pissed. After we got out of there, he commented how those men were after staring me down, but I didn't even notice. I laughed, and we changed the subject. He brought up his concerns in a respectful way the next day, saying that apparently almost every guy we crossed paths with on our date was staring at my chest, and he asked me to not wear revealing clothes anymore. I honestly did not notice anyone staring at me at all. I was thinking maybe imagining that, and I don't want to come across like I'm trying to gaslight him. No, that would be him gaslighting you. I know him trying to control what I wear is not okay, and I stood my ground and told him I was not going to be apologizing for wearing a strap top in summer. He didn't take it well. It kind of escalated into an argument. He keeps telling me I need to compromise with this, but I really don't want to. I told him he should find a girlfriend that already dressed the way he likes to kind of force me into it. I just can't help but feel like our relationship is way too fresh for me to be wasting all my energy trying to fight him where I don't wear long skirts on a hot summer day. I'm really wondering if I'm being unnecessarily stubborn or if he is being controlling. Should I break up with him over this if the relationship is still fresh, or should I try to work it out? If it were me, I would break up because first of all, who are you to tell me what I should do? Why did you, if you don't want men looking at your girlfriend, then go get an ugly one. That's what you need to do. And they would still be looking, but they would be looking like, damn, instead of like, ooh, but they still gonna look. Because you know what? Men look at women. That's what they do. So he's trying to, make it seem like it's your fault that men are looking at you. When, if you're a female, especially if you in your age, they're gonna look at you no matter what you look like. He just gonna have to get over it. But that's what I would tell him. Like, you know what? If you're that insecure, you need to go find you an ugly black girlfriend. That's what you need to do. With no figure, and then men look at her. That probably make you happy. But that's not me. So you're gonna have to deal with what is. If you can't handle it, we can just end it right now. Just only 2 months into it. It's not that big of a deal. And just put it to him just like that. So he understands you don't have no power to your own skillet. You ain't running your mouth. So you have to be very careful about that. Okay. That's what you tell him. And if he gives you any lip, any kind of but, well, I don't like, anything. If he says anything, but you're right, okay, let me calm my ass down. If he says anything other than that, then you know what time it is, and it's an uphill battle. Always trying to interject insecurity into trying to you do whatever so that he doesn't feel insecure and jealous. Jealous men, I don't do jealous men. I just don't do jealous men. I don't know that because they get crazy, and I feel like I end up having to be careful from acting stupid to talk to me crazy. So, that's the way I suggest that you handle it. Put your boundary in place, explain what the parameters are for the relationship to continue. Ask him if he can meet those. If he cannot, doesn't want to, then time is that you can move on while it's still summertime. The sound is messing up. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Nothing I'm doing. It is what it is. I don't know. It might be StreamYard, it might be YouTube. I don't know. Question number 8. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Manchester, England. Summary of issue. I found, con in my husband's gym bag. I hate to admit it, but this isn't the first time. Wait a minute. So your husband, because most husbands want don't do things like that. So your husband has condos in his gym bag, and this is not the first time that this is you writing about it now. The expiry date is 2024, so it must have been purchased within the last 5 years, from what I understand. We've been together for 11 years. We're married with 2 children. The relationship is over for me now. Is there anything I need to do before I confront him on this? He wants me to be at his computer working until late night, so I have time to work this out in my head. I feel numb at the moment. Please help me. The first thing you do is go to the bank and you draw out whatever money you and your kids are going to need. That's what you do. Then you go to an attorney and you tell the attorney what you want to do. And then you write a check to pay the attorney's deposit from that account. Then, when all of that's in place and you sign the contract and everything, you're ready to go, you find a place for y'all to move. And then when he's at work, you move. And then after that, you're going to go, and make the attorney proceed with filing for divorce, arranging child support, child visitation, all those lovely things. And then that's how you have to do it. The main thing you need to do is make sure any assets that you guys have, that you get your fair share, especially enough. So it's like they say it's community property 50-50. That's true. But when you got 2 kids, it's going to be like 75-25. Because you're going to get 25%, each kid's going to get 25%, and he's going to get 25%. You see how this works? So you take 75% of whatever's in the account for you and them 2 kids that you guys have. And then you make your way on to do whatever it is you need to do. Well, nothing I can do about it. So don't complain to me. I can't do anything about it. And saying what's the obvious is not helping. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, let's move on. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. '22 to 27 age group from Fort Worth, Texas. Summary of issue. I cannot stand my boyfriend's daughter. Okay. I really hate my boyfriend's daughter. Damn. We've been together for over a year and he is the most perfect boyfriend ever. But her, I hate. She's 5 and everything she does gets on my nerves. The way she speaks like a baby. And sometimes she tells me what to do. She grates on me so much. When he talks about her, I can feel the hatred welling up inside of me. Wow. We talked about starting a family together, but I really don't want to be a part of it. I wish she would go away or he would stop seeing her. Well, guess what? That's not going to happen unless he's really raggedy. And you know what? The fact that you would wish something like that on a child, then don't be surprised if he does the same thing to any kid that you have. Because then you would have a kind of man who turns his back on his kid. Don't you understand about character? If he gonna do it to one, he'll do it to more than one. If he does it to her, then he would do it to your kids too. So you sit there wishing all this evil stuff on a baby, and like the whole thing about little kids is you put boundaries in place. So when she's talking like a baby, you say, you're 5 years old now. You should talk like a big girl. You're talking like a tiny baby wearing diapers and stuff, and you're not. You're a big girl go to school. So why are you doing that? Right? And she try to tell you what to do. You say, whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm an adult here. You don't tell me anything, young lady. I tell you. You got it confused. You're the child. I'm the adult. You do not tell me what to do. Don't do that again ever. And that's what you tell her. That's how you talk to them. Kids are smart. They have good sense. They know what time it is. They're only gonna do the stuff that you let them do. They're gonna test you. Of course they're going to. But if you just sit there and be all resentful and hold it in instead of using your big words like an adult, well then of course. But I'm kids, they tell me nothing. Little brat, sit down somewhere. He talking about starting a family together, but he ain't talking about marrying you, right? So he's talking about setting you up to be a baby mama. And you listen to that conversation, that's okay with you. Something wrong with you. He needs to get rid of you. That's what I'm saying. He needs to get rid of you because your attitude is all kinds of fucked up and you stupid. So me, that's it. It's a wrap. Let's move on. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Caucasian from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Yeah, she does something wrong. I just can't. So her issue is how do you respond to someone who cancels a date due to insomnia/exhaustion? Oh, that's me. Oof. I just cannot sleep. I got a first date later, but I'm someone that suffers with insomnia, and I've just had only 1 or 2 hours of sleep after already being exhausted yesterday, so I'm feeling like a zombie. I'm thinking of rescheduling due to how shattered I feel and look. However, I know he's really excited about the date, and I don't want to put him off meeting again. Would you ladies be turned off if a date canceled for a reason such as tiredness or be understanding? Hmm. I'm not sure what's worse, showing up and looking and feeling like crap or feeling like a flake or seeming like a flake. I'm sorry. Insomnia really, really sucks. For me, I would rather somebody reschedule. Having insomnia myself, I understand how that is. And it's not when people have insomnia and they're sleep deprived, it's not safe for them to drive. Every single time I've had a car accident, it was because I had a sleepless night the night before and was exhausted. Was exhausted and trying to go somewhere, and this, your reflexes are dulled. You don't see things that you should see because your eyes are at half mast. It's just awful. So personally, from me having experienced it personally, I would be happy if that person canceled because they didn't get any sleep, and I would want them to stay asleep. And meeting the first time we can do that next week. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal for me. So that's my answer. See what they have to say. You can look at the chat stream. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Leeds in the UK. Summary of issue. I expected a better response on my efforts. So I'm here with a wimpy heart over a seemingly very small thing, but it hurts. I prepared a very small yet touching gift for my boyfriend's birthday and used some creativity and went overboard with the effort to make it look as good as possible. On the day of the birthday, I presented him with the gift, and all he reacted with was, "Did you use a SaaS tool for this? Because you can't come up with something like this." Wow. He loves sarcasm, and I'm learning things along the way. So I replied in a humorous way, "Yeah, I used that." And then X and then Y and then Z, and boom, here's the result. And he laughed a little, and that's all. To me, the gift was the most emotionally touching thing I could have done, and I'm so disappointed that he didn't even praise my efforts. I am feeling so bad that I just cried over this little thing. I'm not so easy to cry, but I am feeling so wrong here. I don't know if my feelings are normal, whether I should do something about it or just let it slide, whether it's a big thing or am I making a fuss. I don't know what to do or say. Well, my thing is this. I have learned I don't give men shit. Yeah, maybe that's just me. I don't give them gifts. You know what the gift is? I'm a cook you, bake you some cookies, a pan brownies. I don't know. I don't know. It's so simple. I'm not gonna go through a whole big changes about some mere boyfriend. I'm just not gonna do it. It's not. I'm not gonna do it. You know why I don't do it? Because they don't appreciate it. When you put all this effort into it, men don't see intangible things, and I think that's a lot what women don't get. You feel like you put in all this time, energy, and effort, and he should understand all the behind the scenes energy that you exerted for this to be, the end result. They don't understand that kind of stuff. That's why they will have a woman that keeps the house clean, the kids clean, everything's meals on the table and stuff. And he'll come back and say, "Well, what do you do all day?" Because they don't see all the behind the scenes work unless they have to do it. With that in mind, understanding men's nature, I don't go out of my way to give them spectacular gifts like that, where you put in one bunch of effort. I'm gonna pick up some shit from Target, uh, make some brownies or some shit, and put a candle in it. You better be happy. Blow that shit out and be happy. That's your present. That's all, because it's something they can see and they can eat it and they can, they can smell it. It's tangible. They can carry the little pan of brownies home and take a picture and put it on their Instagram. But you doing all this shit where it took you 37 days to make some shit, and then he sees this one little thing, he's not gonna understand that. And you putting all your feelings into it when you're going against male nature. The man who can understand kind of stuff is rare. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but they're extremely rare. In general, they're kind of like I said earlier, they're dumb. So they know what they see. And women would do better to work with what men are. They're always trying to push them into a box of what you want them to be. It's never going to happen. You end up frustrating yourself like that. Except that men are dumb. The men are just, kind of superficial, and that they're going to go by what they see. That's it. That's all they know, what they see. And if you do work like that, then you won't have these kind of situations. You won't have these kind of feelings. They might be a little bit, they might be like, well, that's all you got me some brownies. So yeah, that's because what you want. What you want, what you think I was gonna get you. Well, then they start betting because they don't really know. They just wanted you to make a big production. Now I made a big production. I baked that shit. Took me 45 minutes, okay, of my time while I set my button oven did the work. But still was 45 minutes of my time that I utilized towards you. So be happy. Leave me alone. I don't know. Just I don't get it. So that's what happened here, girlfriend. You did it to yourself and not understanding male nature. So I hope you just learned something and take this lesson on into the future. As you get, you get older, you get married and stuff, they understand what they see. That's it. That's all. Like a shirt, stuff t-shirt, a jersey. I mean, stuff they can see, they can wear, right? They can touch it. And that's what men understand. That's it. Question number 12, female, 28 to 34 from Charlotte. Summary issue. My male friend only talks about himself. It's making me resentful, and I need to know how to handle this. I have a friend I've known online for years, and we've also met in real life. We're both 30 years old now. He's a good guy, but in the past few months, though he's become very self-centered, he only contacts me to talk about himself. But you don't know how to hang up. You don't know how to say this conversation is boring. Click. You don't know how to do that. He never asks me questions about me. He's completely uninterested in my life. We've known each other for years, and he asked me what the name of my fiance is or what I do for a living. If I try to talk about myself, he steers the conversation right back to himself. I feel like a silent audience, not a friend. My resentment has been growing a lot until 2 weeks ago when I sat him down and told him all this and how I feel. He apologized and told me that he never asked questions not to intrude in other people's lives. He promised me that he would do better and take an interest in my life, which he did, but for only like 3 days. And then he went right back to talking only about himself and asking me 0 questions. What should I do? He's a good guy. We share the same guys, and we've known each other a long time. And I'd be sad to drop the friendship. Also, this is a recent development. Our friendship used to be much more balanced until a year ago. However, I now honestly feel used and find myself dead, ready receiving his text. What would you do? I would tell him, you know what? This one-sided friendship is for the birds. So I'm going to deuce out on this. My fiance doesn't really like me talking to other men anyway. So, I mean, even if it's not true, fiance might not care. Probably don't since you've been dealing with the dude for years. But I still use that as an excuse because it's convenient. It makes it easy to do that, right? But you all always be like, you like to want to hurt him and all this little stuff here. I don't care about hurting. Because I'd be like, look, you little pontificating motherfucker. Ain't nobody trying to hear all of this. If I want to be hearing lectures and shit, I would go back to school. I don't want to hear it. All you do is talk about yourself and you're not that interesting. You haven't invented nothing. You haven't written nothing. You haven't created nothing. You ain't been to space. You haven't done nothing. So what is it that you think somebody wants to hear you drone on about yourself for hours on end for? You are boring, sir. Get over yourself. So when I hang up, don't call me anymore. Don't text me. Lose my number. That's what you give me. I can't stand this kind of folks. I just want to be holding you hostage with their words. It's just like you feel like, I used to talk to this girl. Oh my God. She got cussed out. Okay. So, I got stuff to do, right? I told you guys, I don't really talk on the phone. I would leave my phone places. Like, I left my phone in my cousin's house in Vacaville. Okay, a week later, she's like, "Are you coming to get it?" Because it was a weekend, right? The next weekend, I was going to go up there and get it. I said, "No, just mail it to me." Okay, so my phone was out of my hands for a week and a half. But do you know I didn't even miss it? I didn't. I don't really talk. I'm not, a big phone person. Okay, so she mailed it back, and that was fine. But it's like I don't know. I just don't understand why you would let somebody hold you hostage like that. Because like this girl, she was like I was talking about, we would be talking, right? So then I'm ready to go. And so I'm like, okay, well, yeah, blah, blah, right? Get ready to hang up. Okay, yeah, I talk to you later, this, that. Oh, girl, but yeah, wait, and then she just keep going. And a couple of times, I got caught up in it. And so it's like 2 or 3 times I'm trying to hang up and she would just keep me on the phone. So the last time she did it, like, she I was trying to hang up, and yeah, yeah, girl, well, I'll talk to you, this kind of stuff. And she's like, well, there's one more thing. I said, no, I said, I gotta hang up. And I hung up. She was mad. She sent me a text, well, you just hung up on my face. I said, I told you I had to go. You want to keep fucking talking. So you could go talk over there to yourself or send text or whatever, but I'm not going to be on the phone anymore. I'm done. And so after that, she got mad, so she don't call me no more. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. She talked too much anyway. Yeah, but it's some people don't want to do that because they deem it as being impolite, which I suppose it is. But as I got a certain age, I'm telling you, once I turned 30, I just turned into a savage. I was like, I don't care if it hurts people's feelings. What about mine? My feelings. That's why I'm not into this trans thing. It's like they talking about, well, I feel like this. I'm like, yeah, but your feelings aren't superseding mine. So you feel like a frog today. Well, you can feel like one, but that don't mean I have to agree with you. that you a frog. You ain't a frog. You just dumb. Something wrong with you. So it's the same kind of thing. You know, people have these feelings. You can't be responsible for their feelings. You have to focus on what's going on with you and take care of yourself. So you don't worry about if their feelings are hurt because you get off the phone. You don't worry about their feelings being hurt because you want to break up with them because they're not treating you right. You don't worry about that. You worry about you and how it's impacting your life and your feelings, your sleeplessness, your depression, you know, your mood, your money, your kids. I mean, you worry about the impact that these other people and their actions are having on your life. And it's easier then, I think, to make boundaries to our struggle. Question number 14. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Latina in Florida. Summary of issue. I was touched inappropriately at work by an older male coworker, and I'm not sure how to handle it. I'm in a weird place right now. My company invited us to a boat trip last week, and while on the trip, I got a few compliments on how I was dressed from the white guy who I wasn't on good terms with. He was working on my team for a week about 2 months ago. It didn't work out, so I sent him to a different team when we haven't talked since. I see him every day since we all sit together in the mornings, at lunch, at coffee breaks, at the end of the day, etc. Ooh, that's too much. Anyways, after his compliments on the boat trip, he started getting touchy, grabbing my shoulder, putting his hand on my waist in front of everyone. I wasn't comfortable at all, so I just went to a different spot. After a minute, he comes behind me, trapping me between his arms, and I felt his junk touching my body. Oh boy. I didn't want to make a scene, so I didn't do anything and acted like nothing happened. He lifted his arm. That's when I went straight to sit next to a supervisor. He followed me around the rest of the trip. It was like a nightmare. I didn't show up to work the next day, and I'm not sure if I want to show up on Monday. I don't know how to handle the situation. I'm afraid I gave him the wrong idea. I never experienced anything like this in my life. This whole thing made me sick, and I feel horrible. What should I do? You should. Why? Okay. Why did you not want to make a scene? So because you want to be polite and not make a scene to protect, I don't know who, you just let him do all of that stuff. You did not put up no resistance. You didn't say no. You didn't say stop. You didn't say motherfucker touch me again. I'm gonna put your ass overboard. You didn't say anything to him. You didn't do anything except go like a little coward and sit next to a supervisor. And now you writing me talking about I don't know what to do. You put your grown woman on. That's what you do. You don't let me touch you like that. The second he put his hands on your shoulder, you're supposed to take his arm and fling it off and say, keep your fucking hands to yourself. Don't you ever touch me. You don't lost your low monkey mind. Even though he's white, you still can say stuff like that to him. You don't lost or whatever you want to call him. And then if he should have proceeded again, then you knee him in the groin. Or if he's far enough away, you just keep him legs straight. You know how to do that? Because see, when these men are touching like that, what's it called, Diana? Battery. You don't want them to touch you. And if they touch you in a way that hurts you, then it's assault and battery. And you may think, well, that's not the deal. Yes, it is. Because he knew it was wrong when he was doing it. He was doing that because it was giving him a feeling of power over you because you had power over him and kicked him off the team. You don't even understand what was going on. That was his way of getting back at you. He was playing this predator and you intimidating you, and you let him do it. Now, see, this is the thing that drives me crazy about you women. It drives me crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that you are at fault here. I'm not saying that, but this is what I want you all to listen to me very carefully. When you're in a situation where a man is violating your boundaries, touching your body, saying inappropriate things to you, and you don't say anything, and you don't do anything, what the fuck kind of message do you think you're giving him? You left sitting there like it's okay. That's the message that you're communicating. That you're okay with it because you're not doing nothing to make it stop. And if you have to loud talk him, it's like, you creepy motherfucker, stop following me around the goddamn boat. I don't want to be bothered with you. Stop it. Just leave me alone. And you say that one time, everybody hears. And after that, he would be embarrassed and he would leave you alone. But see, you guys be more, I don't want to make a scene. Oh, no, I'm the queen of scene. I'm going to make a scene, honey. It's going to be on everybody's YouTube channel, all over TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Because I'm going to show out if you do crazy shit you shouldn't be doing. With no concern for how you feel about it. Your kids don't see it, your mother, anybody. I don't care. Because you know what? If you cared about all this, you should have done it. She wasn't in shock all that time because she said it was during the whole trip. The first time, maybe. But then, okay, so now he's touching you. She had too many incidences where it was kept going on. He was repeatedly doing it. So the shock thing doesn't work. That's only for the first time. Yeah, you might be shocked the first time. Yeah, exactly. T and Taylor, that's what I'm saying. But they never say anything. They half the time these girls be right in here, they don't even tell HR. They don't do anything. And so the guy just, seems to, of course, would assume that she's okay with it because she hasn't done shit to put the brakes on it or to make him stop. Honey, I guess, I don't know. It's so bothersome to me that there's so many cowardly ass women in this world. Y'all need to do better. You cannot let men run you like this. You need to call them out on their shit and don't sit up there in that video already made. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. You name the behavior. Name it. You're a pervert. You're a fucking you're what you call it, predator. Stop following me around. You're gross and disgusting. You name what it is that they're doing and how it's making you feel in response. Name it. By you naming it out of your mouth, it gives you more energy and more power. But when you hold all of that stuff in, you're also holding in your power. And that I think is a lot of reason why y'all just end up just tolerating this crap over and over and over and over and over and over until you feel so resentful you want to change jobs and all that stuff. You let them drive you out of your job that you love. No, the only person he leaving here is gonna be you. I don't know, but please do better about speaking up for yourself. It's just ridiculous that so many women let these men get away with this kind of stuff. They're gonna try you. Of course, they're gonna try you at one time. And that's when you put on your clone nose and go to work. And you just act a complete fool. Raising them to be quiet and keep the peace. Well, I'm glad I didn't get that training. I probably should be quiet sometimes, but I don't. I just don't. You know why I don't? Because I don't give a fuck. Like, I care about my feelings. And if you are doing something that's intruding in my feelings, my peace of mind, my rights, my property, my anything, then and I have to make a choice between whether it's going to be my feelings or yours, I'm going to choose mine every time. You're about to get sliced and diced. It's crazy. Question number 15. This is a young man in the 21 age group, California is all it says. How do you deal with creeps at the gym? Me, 19, and she's 30-ish. I was at the gym earlier today, and I was the only one in the stair climber, and an older woman, maybe mid-30s, I'm guessing, not on the machine right next to me when every other machine was empty. She threw glances at me a couple of times. I was having a good workout and only had 80 minutes left, so I didn't move. But I didn't feel comfortable. I'm not confrontational, so all I did was start walking more towards the right. She was on my left. Deb, I'm not attractive at all, so it could have just been me being paranoid. I just want advice in case it happens again. Advice on what? Exactly what? You sound stupid. Okay, she didn't say shit to you. She didn't touch you. She didn't do anything to you. She didn't like lean over and get in your personal space. She's on a machine next to you. And you know what? The gym puts them a certain distance apart because they feel that that's enough distance apart so they can make their money and everybody can have access to the machine. She didn't do anything to you. You just tripping. Okay. She didn't even talk to your ass. That happens again. You at a public gym, it's going to happen again because people are going to be using the machines next to you and you look at them. You look at everybody that comes into the gym. I make it a habit as my old trainer days. I watch people because I want to see what kind of progress they're making. If they're making any at all, I've been seeing some people that have been working out for 3, 4 months. And they still look exactly the same as they did. Like, okay, well, their problem is not the workout, it's their food. They're not eating right. They haven't lost an inch and still got like cellulite and stuff going on, all kinds of stuff. And no, everything fat roll still in play, all that stuff. And they at the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I don't know what you're doing. Well, thank you. You know what I do? I got a lot of sleep the last couple of days, but I didn't feel good. So I couldn't really do too much. I was just drinking. Yeah, I probably had more water than I usually have too. Got more sleep. But I'm glad to know that it worked out. Question number 16 of 24. We got 24 questions today. It's a young lady, 18 to 21, age group from Rochester, New York. Summary of issue. I'm tired of getting screamed at. I bet you are. What should I do if my boyfriend keeps screaming at me? He keeps promising me that he won't do it, but then he goes back to doing it anyway. I really love him, but I'm tired of getting yelled at all the time. Okay, well, you're in the 18 to 21 age group, so it's not like you're going to be married to him. He ain't your baby daddy. He ain't your fiance, so what is it that you stand in this situation for getting yelled at? Why do you think that you need to stay in a relationship with a man who thinks that is the best way to talk to you? Do you not have higher standards and boundaries in place? Do you really believe that this is an appropriate kind of way for a man to communicate with you? Obviously, you don't, because that's what he wrote. But when he did it the first time, he's supposed to say, motherfucker, let me tell you something. Don't you be screaming at me. You scream at your fucking dog. You scream at your mama if she didn't brush your teeth out. But one thing you would not do is scream at me. The next time you do that, we're done. That's your warning. Okay, so then a week or two pass, and then he does it again. You'd be like, oh, I'm out. Because I told you, I'm not going to tolerate that. And this relationship would have been over. Right? You wouldn't have to waste your ink writing me. Yeah, they don't change, but you give them because sometimes what I found is sometimes men will treat women differently based on what they think they can get away with. So if he's had a situation where he was with a woman who tolerated him yelling at her, he's gonna bring that communication style into this next relationship. But if you are not the one that's not gonna tolerate that and he wants to be with you, then he'll stop. If he continues that, then it means he doesn't really care about whether he's with you or not, in which case you should leave. Because you should be with the man who wants to be with you and who respects you. The man who wants to yell at you like you have a tail and paws is not showing respect. For some reason, a lot of young women don't get that. They tolerate disrespect like it's the normal thing. Yeah, we do need help, Ultimate. I'm trying to tell you, it's like every week when I do this, I'm like, what are these parents doing with their daughters? They're not teaching them anything. They're not putting them in any place where they don't have any self-esteem. Their boundaries are like gone, just zero, just never existed in the first place. They take all kinds of crap. I've never seen so many young people so confused and depressed. They're confused. They're confused about everything. And no adult in their life is sitting them down and guiding them to where they need to be and showing them affection and interest. That's what these kids need so that they get on a proper track, especially these girls. But they're not doing it. And so they send them off to college. So, they're educated to go to college, but they don't have any sense. They don't have any life skills. They don't really know how to handle themselves when they're out here in the world. They have no street smart. They have no game. They don't have any understanding of men or dating or risks and dangers, nothing. They have nothing. And they're out here roaming the streets and on dating sites. That's the scariest thing in the world. These girls, they be in dangerous situations. They don't even recognize it as being one because nobody taught them. It's just sad. So let's move on to this one. Question number 17. This is a young lady, 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Richmond, California. Summary of issue. My boyfriend of 4 years wants me to exercise and has hinted that I'm unhealthy. Really? I'm 22. I'm 5'5" and 153 pounds. I've gained about 25 pounds over the last 4 years since we started dating. At the time, I think I was underweight, but now I think I'm slightly on the higher side of the normal weight range. However, I have a little belly fat and some face fat, which I didn't have before. I'm very insecure about this, and my boyfriend knows about it, so started exercising a few weeks ago. Recently, however, he has been pestering me about exercising with him and sometimes becomes upset if I decide to skip it. I don't have a car yet, so he puts me up on his way to Planet Fitness every day. He makes a sarcastic look back at me if I decide to skip for the day. He also sometimes brings it up during normal conversations. I still end up going about twice a week, but I haven't lost any weight in the past 4 months. When I asked him about it, he said I have to take it up more seriously and that I might become unhealthier if I don't. He's been a loving boyfriend otherwise, and I don't have any other major issues, but his increasing nagging has made me feel very insecure. By the way, he keeps himself very fit, and I feel insecure that I'm not trying as hard, but I don't think his nagging is helping me in any way. I've told him this twice, but he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with this, or he's not stopped doing it. How to make him stop? Yes, you tell him, you know what? When you go to school and get your personal training certification, or you go to school and become a doctor, then I will listen to you. Up until then, you need to shut up and leave me the fuck alone. That's what you need to do. If you can't do that, then we could break up. Because 4 years is a good run. That's good. We don't have to do this longer. And just I don't know. I just can't with these dudes. But you have to put some standards in place. It's like he don't have no certifications. He's not a medical person. He's not a doctor. He's not a nurse. He's not anything where he would have any kind of knowledge about your body and what you need to successfully reach this weight loss goal that you have in your mind. He's just telling you to go work out with him. Women should not work out with men. They should not do that. The workouts that you need are completely different. They're going to do, these split routines with chest and back, and then arms and quads and, hamstrings and glutes. I mean, they're going to do that kind of stuff because it builds muscle and bulks them up, and that's what they want. That's not the best workout for women is a full body routine 3 times a week. That is the absolute best way to manage your body fat, build muscle, and lose weight at the same time. But the major component to your success is going to be what you eat. So, if you going to the gym, but you still eating burgers and fries and milkshakes and shit like that, pizza and crap like that, then yeah, you're not going to lose any weight. You have to change your diet. You can't be having toast for breakfast. You need to have some eggs, some berries and shit like that. Not high carb fruits like bananas. Can't do that. You need to lose weight. So you think about that. You think about what you're eating. Maybe keep a food log. And don't tell him this is just between me and you. Keep a food log. Don't change your eating habit. Just write down everything that you eat. And then you enter it into one of those calorie counter things that they have online. And look at what you're eating versus what you should be eating, which is no more than 5. What did you say? 5. If you want to lose weight, probably around 1,600 calories. And if you haven't lost the weight and you're working out, you're probably eating more like 2,500, which will keep you, plump. You feel called out? Was this your letter? Yeah, junk food is the hardest thing, the hardest part to give up. And I'm not saying you can't have it ever, but mostly when people, they have it like too much. They don't have like a burger fry once every couple of weeks. They be having one almost daily. Pizza every Friday night. Beer every Friday night. Stuff like that. You don't be doing too much. And then you want to lose weight. You can't lose weight like that. Question number 18. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African American. Well, yeah, with vegetables, but you can't drown them in butter and fry them and all that kind of stuff, Hold up. We got to be more specific. Talk about vegetables. Because, folks will be like fried okra. What's a vegetable? One on the cob, drowning in butter. Technically, that's a grain, but most people count it as a vegetable. Stuff like that. Got to be more specific. Okay, so he says, the guy I'm dating already talked about marriage and babies. I'm 22 and I'm dating a 30-year-old man. We've had 3 dates and I had fun. He seems like a really good guy. The only thing that I do not really like about it is the fact that he seems to be moving way too fast. We barely known each other. He's already talks about vacation together, house to buy, marriage, and kids. Just to be clear, he's not talking about what he wants from the future in general. He is making clear reference to us as a couple, saying stuff like, our kid will be X, Y, our home will be in that specific part of the city, I'll find you a job. I don't know. It seems really early to talk about this stuff. We should spend time knowing each other before all of that. Should I be worried? Is it a red flag, or does he really like me? No, it's just game. If you at your age, see, this is what I'm talking about. These parents aren't teaching their kids nothing. Young girl, this is game. This is just talk that he's about to try to get you wrapped up thinking that he's going to be, that you guys will have a relationship of some magnitude. So you will be dumb and give him all the pussy, all your money, and all your time, your energy, and you won't be doing it for anybody else because you're thinking that he's talking about marrying your kids after you've been on 3 dates. You don't think that this, I mean, you said you thought about red flags. It's like a whole parade of red flags. He's just gaming on you. He's a player. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something, a secret. Even when the dudes do, because like I know I've known plenty of men who met a woman and they said they knew the second they met her that they were gonna be married and together. And all that stuff. They said it just felt it in their bones. They just knew. Okay. And they knew they wanted to marry that woman. But you know what? They also knew that they didn't want to scare her away. So they wouldn't tell her. They would tell like their parents or somebody. I met the woman I'm gonna marry. They tell a big sister, I met the girl. This is it. This is it. I gotta figure out how to make this happen. I gotta put some shit in place. I'm gonna make this happen in the next 2 years. So he starts formulating a plan for their life. And then he brings her into the dream. But by then he's already got the foundation made. She can see and evidence that he's serious because this is the shit he's doing. Here go the deed to the house I bought. I'll put your name on it. The ring. Here go the ring. I mean, he's doing stuff that he's putting things in place to make that stuff he's talking about happen. You can see proof of his efforts. This guy is just talking shit. He's just gaming on you because he knows you're young and you don't know nothing. So I suggest that you tell him, look, I know this is just your way of trying to seduce me. I'm not really interested in all of this future faking stuff that you're talking about, sir. So I'm not trying to get married to nobody. I don't care about having no damn kids. And I don't want to go on a vacation with you either. I don't know you like that. So if you can't slow your roll and deal with me on a nice slow level, then we got to stop this right now because you're just doing too much. And just tell him, okay? They can put his brakes on. Yeah, let's move on to question number 19. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from Paris, France. I have issues. Should I go on this date? Earlier today, I was waiting at the train station with my little cousin. I'm 19, she's 16. He had a van approaching. Okay, this is already looking bad. He basically said that he was about to be late for the meeting, but he had to stop. He told me he found me beautiful and basically asked me out. I said, I'm probably too young for you. I told him I'm 19. He said, it's fine. He's 26. I said, I don't know him. And he said, well, he can be a friend. He ended up giving me my number and he's sending me the address of a really nice restaurant in Paris. I live near Paris and the train station was in Paris. Okay. Also mentioned he does street art and that he'll pay for the restaurant. I don't know if I should go. This would be my first adult serious real date, if that makes sense. I'm scared because he's a complete stranger, but at the same time, I'm afraid of missing out. Sorry if I make a mistake. English is not my first language. Okay, if you do this, you're stupid. Don't you understand? He saw 2 young girls out by themselves. Sex trafficker. Sex trafficker, don't you go nowhere where he tries to direct you. And of course, if you bring a friend, and that's two for them to get at the cost of 1. Don't you go nowhere. You throw that piece of paper away with his number. You leave, and don't be let me pick you up on the street like that. Any guy trying to talk to you, you make sure you have a distance between the 2 of you. You don't give them any information about yourself, including your name, so they can look you up and all kind of stuff. Start stalking you online, figure out where you're going to be and what you're going to do. Because you guys are stupid and you put all your pictures about everything with the location on your social media. Because I don't know what you girls be thinking. And then the next thing, nobody knows where you fuck you are. And you be like, oh, well, I was just putting all my pictures and all my business online. And I didn't realize that someone was stalking me and trying to snatch me up. Mercy. Little girl. Don't you ever do anything like this again. At least you had enough sense to be scared to write. Okay? Dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. What's that movie with Liam Neeson where his daughter went to, wasn't she in Paris? And he was like, I'll find you and I'll pay you, that movie. Same situation. You have people from all over the world coming into cities like Paris. And they gonna leave, and they're gonna leave with you in a boat or it's a train or something, and you're not gonna be knowing how to get out of the situation. You might be unconscious and unable to get out of the situation. Stay your little ass at your house and don't you be talking to those strange ass men on the street anymore. You try to talk to you, tell them I'm not no comprende or something. Whatever. You start speaking some foreign language like you don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. Leave them alone. Taken, yes, thank you. That movie was scary. Me and Meeston, I was like, ooh, I would not want to mess with you because he was not playing about his baby. It was a great movie. He had a second one, was like Taken too. I saw that one too a couple weeks ago. Question number, I already did that. Question number 20. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group from Quebec City, Quebec. Time of issue, my manager constantly asks about my boyfriend. This could go many ways. What's going on here? My male boss and I have a friendly relationship, and he is always asking me about my boyfriend. Almost every day, he's asking me how my boyfriend is doing. I'm not really sure what his reasoning is behind that because why does he care so much to ask about him, especially every day? I've shared some things about my personal life. He does flirtatious stuff at work, like purposely bump into me, poke me, touch my shoulder, massage it. Basically ask me if I want to fight. I'm not sure if he's doing these things because he's attracted to me or not. God, you're dumb. He religiously asked about my boyfriend every day, and one time when my boyfriend and I broke up, I told him. He kept asking what's going on, why we broke up, etc. I'm not sure why he's so interested in my love life. What do you think all this means? It means that you're stupid. First of all, you're 18 to 21. You don't need to be talking about your personal life like that with your manager. Okay, boundaries again. No boundaries. What you're supposed to do when he's asked about your boyfriend is say, he's fine, but I don't want you to ask about my boyfriend every day because that's nothing to do with my job here. I want to talk about work. I'll deal with my boyfriend. Thank you. That's all you had to say. Shut it down. But no, you didn't. You just volunteering, just talking, just running your mouth. Okay, then you're gonna do flirtatious stuff, and you know that's what it is, and you don't tell them to stop. He bumping into you, poking you, touching your shoulder, massaging. How you guys be letting these men do you like this? He's grooming you. That's what all these grooming behaviors. Just a predator. Oh my God. See, these parents, they just don't tell the kids nothing. Little girl, let me explain something. When you go into a job, you have to have a real attitude of what's work is work and what's personal is personal. The two don't need to mix. Okay, the two don't need to mix. When you got people, especially when people start asking questions about your personal life, that's when I shut all the way down. I don't need to know. Just like the other day, I was gonna go to my auntie's house, right? And this lady was looking at the message, what you call it, traffic patterns and stuff. So I asked what was the traffic pattern between Oakland and Antioch. Well, what's the address? She says. I said, you don't need to know the address. You just need to know Antioch. But you need to know the address that I'm going to for. You see what I mean? Stuff like that. And I caught myself. I mean, it was such an odd question to me. And then she looks at me like, what's the problem? Why do you don't want to tell me? And I'm thinking, bitch, because I know your fucking business. But I didn't say all that because it was a professional environment. I just said, you don't need to know that. Antioch is good. So then she looked for Antioch and told me. Yeah, we're just like talking too much. Women just love to run their mouth and tell us too much information, especially to these pervy men. I just don't get it. But this was a woman, but I still didn't tell her because I couldn't figure out any logical reason why we need to know that. I didn't even get to my question. I just shut it down and said, you don't need to know. So I was like, Yeah, but that's what people do. They want to ask you all kind of questions. So, like say you be out sick at work, right? You out sick. Oh, well, what was wrong? I was sick. Well, what happened? You don't need to know. Why you need to know that? Oh, well, I just no, you don't need to know that. See, stuff like that. But a lot of young people don't think that they shouldn't tell people that kind of stuff. It's none of their business. I mean, if you want to, but you know what I mean, but if you want to volunteer it because it's a reason why you think, like, okay, I have to go to, I'm gonna have surgery or something. I'm gonna be gone for 6 weeks. Well, they might need to know that, especially working a team. They need to know that you're not gonna be there and, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting a knee surgery. I'll probably have some trouble walking when I get back. I'm getting arm surgery. I may have trouble typing when I get back. Something like that they might need to know because it directly impacts your work. But other stuff, they don't need to know that. Your kid gets sick. Oh, what happened? What was that? What did you have? You don't need to know that. Your husband was sick and something happened, he got hurt and somebody was in the hospital. Well, what happened? What did you know? No, yes, you don't need to know. And if I'm talking about you and you do this kind of stuff at your job, shut your mouth and stop asking people questions. Because you might run into somebody like me that's gonna tell you about yourself and your feelings are gonna get hurt. If they wanted you to know, they would tell you. If they don't you fucking ask nobody anything about their personal business. It's not keep your nose in your business. If you don't have no business, you need to get you some. So you don't have to bother other people about theirs. Your manager asks a lot of questions. That's so inappropriate. You shouldn't be asking that. And this girl's the manager, right? She had a employee who she found out his girlfriend cater stuff, right? So dude, of course, went off the deep end and he just, left work with hysterics and then he never came back for a couple of weeks. And so she comes to me and she's like, well, I'm going to go to his house and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so, and then I advised her not to, but then she went to his house anyway and is telling him, that he needs to come back to work and all this kind of stuff here. And I'm like, okay, first of all, with what you did, he could file a grievance with the union because that is a violation. He's out of work. The most that you could do is call him or tell him to make sure you got his current address and send him some FMLA paperwork. That's what you should have done. You don't go to somebody's house and start nagging them about coming back to work when they're grieving. Well, listen, I'm like, wow. She's lucky because if she had been me, she would have got cussed out. You need to take your job and shove it somewhere. So let's move on to question number 21. This is a young man, 22 to 27, age group from Albany, New York. Tell me the issue. How to best handle a girl who's talking to multiple men and not come off as needy or jealous. This girl I met off with the tea swipey thing, and I have been casually dating, making it clear we are single after months of hooking up. But she mentioned hanging out with guys she just met as friends and also says me and her are friends, but she isn't sure what the future holds after I've asked for exclusivity. That means if you see other people, that means she doesn't want to be in a relationship, either with anyone or with you in particular. But it sounds like she's dealing with other dudes with anybody. She's just being single and free like right now. I understand that. I went through that. I don't want to be bothered. I mean, it's nice when you see them, but when you're the girlfriend, you have different kind of responsibilities and obligations. They want to be texting you all the time and coming over and you to come over there and be all up in your mix. And sometimes you just don't feel like that. You just want to deal with a dude for a couple of hours and then you just move on. Go do what you want to do, hang out with your girlfriends, go visit your family, and not have to report to nobody, not have to answer no questions about where you're going when you get back. I mean, being in a relationship, it can be draining. And sometimes you just don't want to be bothered. You just don't want to. You just want to stick around with a different dude and enjoy your time and be single and free and hang out with your girlfriends and just do what you want to do. That's it. I did that for years. Now, that's when I was traveling all over this country. But my family was a flight attendant for Continental. We went everywhere. Oh my God. So much fun. So I can't never be old and say, I wish I should have, could have, would have, because I did everything I wanted to do, plus some of yours. But, anyway, let's move on. Let's do something. Let's read the next one. Question 22, young man, 22 to 27 from Boston. Summary of issue. Her ex keeps texting her. My girlfriend's ex-boyfriend is texting her repeatedly. She has nothing to do with it, but he is being a pest. I know what I'm going to do. What would you do about it if you were in my position? I would suggest that she change her number. Right? She hadn't done that. She hadn't even blocked him. right? Otherwise, you can go to text her. So that's the easy solution. And then I would ask her that. Why you haven't you blocked them if you don't want anything to do with them? You leave the door open for him to continually contact you, then you complain about it. But you're not doing anything to take action to make it stop. Like for you to be, available. Then the best solution in a situation like this, though, is for her to change your number. Because especially if they were together, they were exes. He probably has friends that have, he can use other people's phones. So she'd have to go through a whole bunch of blocking a bunch of different people. The best thing to do is just get a different phone number and call it a day. Yeah, these people. What these little girls have against blocking these fools? Man, I am a block queen. I just want to block you just because it's Tuesday. Question number 23. Oh, this is our next to last one. Young lady, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian from Belfast, Ireland. Tell me of issues. Oh, we haven't had one from Ireland for a while. How common are controlling and judgmental partners? I come from a background of controlling and toxic adult influences, and I just don't feel the excitement in meeting people anymore. There's no emotion at all. Regardless of gender, I expect everyone I meet to be judgmental dickheads, and I can't help but feel a massive wave of disgust whenever I see people around. How common is for people to actually be this way? I don't know if anything can make me feel any different, but I have never seen what makes dating so great. People's useless, toxic behavior only serves to push me towards hating them. It doesn't make me love them. Ooh, you just really on a rant, aren't you? I don't know what to ask to get a date started, and I don't care if it doesn't get started. I hate traditionalist dating because I'm basically never interested in people just because they exist. I don't care about looks. I'm always expected to do everything first. I have no natural desire to do anything with anyone. At this point, I consider dropping all of it for the rest of my life because when I bring it up, people do nothing but complain. What are your thoughts on this? I don't have any thoughts. I don't have no thoughts. I'm gonna be like you. I don't care. I don't care. Why should I care about you hating people in Belfast Island? Please explain that to me. Because I can't judge your life. I don't know what kind of situations you've been in. I'm not going to say, oh my God, not everyone's like that. I wouldn't disgrace your opinions and your experiences in life like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. What I am going to tell you though is that you might want to investigate counseling if you have some money, because and not because of your attitude. It's right here. I come from a background of controlling and toxic adult influence. That's why you would need the therapy. There's, you're going to absorb that. And in spite of our best efforts when we were growing up, we tend to kind of replicate some of those behaviors we saw as kids. It's not healthy. It's not sane. It's not going to get you in your life. So, whether you have a partner or not, you should still be able to have friends and not think of everybody as judgmental dickheads like you do. You see what I mean? So it's something, give it some thought. This would be for you. Would be for anyone else. I don't feel for anybody else, but it would be for you to cleanse yourself of those controlling and toxic adult influences that seem to be basically ruining your life right about now. You're so young. I hate to see this be you for the rest of your life. I mean, you're gonna shun. I mean, you knock away any kind of pain and stuff because you would be letting people in. But those kind of walls work two ways. They keep stuff out, but they also keep things in. And so you wouldn't be able to love anybody if nobody would love you either. Think about that. What I'm saying. I think for your best future, you need to figure out a way to clear yourself of all that stuff, so you can open yourself up to be a better person. A better person. I'm not saying a husband or a wife or anything like that. Just a better person that can be happy and be okay with other people being different from you, and maybe not being, I don't know, not meeting your standards or whatever. I mean, not meeting expectations, but not throwing them out the baby bathwater because they're not perfect. And that's when people get into this kind of mindset. They tend to think that everybody's supposed to be perfect, instead of letting people be themselves. Because you don't even accept yourself, so it's not going to be hard for you to accept someone else. That's my concern. Okay, so think about it. And our last question of tonight, question number 24. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's Caucasian from Tigard, Oregon. Tigard, Oregon. Um, I'm looking at the survey before I go forward. It says, you allow your man to tell you what you with, and 12% said maybe sometimes. 87% said no, and 1% said yes. So let me end. That was very interesting. Everybody's thoughts on that. Candace did a survey. Candace did a poll. I think that was her first one. Okay, so let's move on to this last question. I'm 26 and I had to talk with my girl. She's the same age that I'm seeing about getting into a relationship. But now all I see are red flags. Oh, hey, Deb, I'm a longtime lurker on your Twitch channel, but this is my first time asking for help. I am generally a relationship kind of person, not really seeking hookups or casual dating. Even though I'm outgoing, I consider myself pretty picky when it comes to choosing a partner, it being the reason why I haven't dated in 4 years. But recently, I met a woman and we really hit it off. Besides being one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen, I can easily chat with her while being completely myself from the get-go, which is rare for me as I'm awkward when talking to women for the most part. We went on a couple of dates when we got to know each other, and after a while, it was really apparent. This letter's long, so brace yourself. Really apparent that we wanted each other for a relationship. So she laid out her requirements/boundaries. Okay, here we go. The most absurd to me of those was that she doesn't want a partner that has any kind of female friends. I was dumbfounded at this because, in my experience, every normal person in their mid-20s has mixed groups. And moreover, I consider it a red flag to not be able to view a person of the opposite gender as nothing more than a potential hookup, bedmate. Four of my closest friends are women that I have known close to a decade. And it is impossible to be expected of me to drop friends for a person I barely know compared to them. She expressed that if she knew it was going to work out with a female friend, she would feel sick to her stomach about me cheating, as if someone wouldn't be able to cheat with a random woman if they wanted to cheat. And he put a bunch of question marks. You right. She also believes in a 0 to 100 kind of relationship dynamic, which basically means that from the first day of a relationship, she does with someone she expects to put each other as our top priority. I also don't find that normal. What 26-year-old person with a job opportunity, education, 100 other things to worry about in their lives would immediately put their new partner as the number one top priority? Isn't it something that flourishes over the natural course of the relationship and getting to know the other person and where you're headed? You got your head on straight. Look at you. It just seems like she has deep trust issues and a warped idea of how relationships work. And I'm just not sure anymore how to proceed from here because I fall in love with her, but now I see lots of red flags. Well, you got two things you can do. Just because you were loved, that don't mean that you're gonna have a good relationship. It's people in the divorce courts that's still madly in love every day. That don't mean nothing. There's two ways you can approach this. Number one is you can go to her and say, look, I heard everything that you said, but I'm telling you right now that ain't gonna happen because I've been friends with these people for more than a decade. They are nothing but friends. If I wanted to be with them like that, I could have done that over the last 10 years. It's not that kind of party. We don't see each other that way. We're not attracted to each other like that. We're attracted to each other as friends only. And I need a woman who's secure enough in herself that that's not a problem. So that's number one. That's number one red flag right there. Number two is that you think that somebody's supposed to come in the gate being 100. That leaves no room for the relationship to grow. You want it to be perfect and totally absorbed in each other right out the gate. And I'm telling you, that's unrealistic. So to me, everything that you'd ask me for is unrealistic and undoable and unacceptable. So I guess we're not going to be in a relationship because your demands are just too much for me. It's just too unrealistic. So, you don't have to get mad. You don't have to yell. You don't have to be upset. You just tell her that she's crazy. Bottom line, she's off her mind. She's off her meds, obviously. And just to come up with crazy stuff to be talking about that somebody's going to do in a relationship. That's stuff that, who does people stuff like that, stalkers. where they come in and they just want to be your everything, right? They want to be your everything. They just want to control your life. They absorb you. Nobody trying to be like that. Well, we don't know what she got, and we don't make them kind of conjecture-y things about the advice column. Because, see, now you went into fantasy land, and that's all in your imagination. We don't have any facts to say that, and it doesn't really matter what she's got. We're talking about him and what he's not going to allow her to do to control his life. So that's what I stick to, what the letter writer asked, and, you know, the issues that they present. I don't like to do that side stuff because I don't have any facts in that direction. So it would just be conjecture. And I prefer not to do that. But that was our column for today. I'm glad I was able to see if I could feel myself sweating, though. I still have a little bit of a fever. I guess I don't know. I don't know what got a hold of me, but I was laid out flat in my back for 2 days and got up today. I was like, ugh. But yeah, you know, supposed to be doing, I was supposed to get the slides done for DNA, and I got sick. So I'll see if I can put something together. It won't be a lot of them, but I'll try to get something together so we can at least have a short show. Because my God, this would be like the second week. It's just unbelievable. It's just sad. It's just shit. By the time I get everything together, it's gonna be August before we start DNN. I'll try to do better though. Really, you guys get something going. See if I can get you, even if it's like, I don't know, 10 slides. Do something for tomorrow. But I'll let you know. Okay, look on the show page, and if you see a show for it, it's on. If you don't, it's next week. Because that's, like I said, I still don't really feel that great. So we'll see what we can do here. But let me see what else I got. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah. So some people are asking too, you know, DNN, what is that? It's stuff like this. Okay. We make fun of people. Notice the hand clap? Who does the hand clap? Motherfucker, look. I was rolling. Or this. Because you ladies know you be doing the most. I saw some girls coming into the gym a couple of weeks ago with some big old caterpillar eyelashes on. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Or this. So it's a fun show. You know, it's a fun show. It's nothing serious. We don't, you know, it's not super educational or anything like that. You're going to, you know, basically just laugh. That's all. That's what we do. It's just stupid. Okay. So that's the show that we're trying to do. Get rolling here. That's our summer programming. Trying to get that together, but your friend over here just can't get her act together to make it happen. I got to do the slides. You know, it's a lot of work. But you guys have been good about sending your stuff in, so I do have a lot of stuff to choose from. And I appreciate all your effort, and I appreciate your support. You guys really came through. I think we're about like 6 or 7 people away from making the 30,000 goal. So if you're not a subscriber to the channel yet, please hit that subscription button before you leave so we can make 30,000 subscribers today. That would be great today. But yeah, you guys did good doing a push to get those that last 40-something people to subscribe. So it looks like today is the day. So by July 1st, we will have 30,000 subscribers. Finally. How long did that take? Should be way more than that, but hey, I'm not going to complain. I am not going to complain. Yes, I do have deadlines. I have deadlines. DNN needs to be broadcasted. DNN is just a crazy show. But yes, thanks you guys. Thanks, Robin. I'll keep that in mind. And I will see you guys real soon, hopefully tomorrow.